Hello, it is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, coming to you again for another episode on the top 10 of the weekend 6/8/2020. I hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend. It was a great weekend for me. I actually am exhausted because I attended a peaceful protest and a march for justice in Middletown, Delaware. And let me tell you, I will be 59 years old this year, and I'm a boomer. I grew up in the 60s, and I saw all that was going on television, but I never participated. This was the very first time in my life that I ever participated in a protest march, a peaceful protest march. And let me tell you what, it was a beautiful day. Thank you to Bishop Brogdon and everyone that helped out with that event in Middletown. I had lived in Middletown for 26 years, and I had never seen that many people come together peacefully of all races, religions. I mean, we had imams there, we had ministers there, we had oh my gosh, everyone, representative of all religions. We had senators there, we had some kids there, it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. I am exhausted, but you know what? The fight must continue. I know we are all exhausted, but there has to be change. There has to be change. There has to be change. We've been talking about this for far too long. And for those of you that says, okay, you did what you had to do, you did your march, now get back into business. It's not that easy. Until everyone is treated equally, no one should be treated equally. So that is a fight that's going to be ongoing for a long time. It's not going to die down, not today, not tomorrow, next week, next year, so on and so forth. So again, thank you to everyone who came out yesterday to Middletown, Delaware for the peaceful protest and march. And if you head over to my Facebook page, Antoinette Blake, or even my Dell Blogger page, which I believe I shared it as well, you will see the about a 45-minute video. I went live and I covered everything from the speeches, the presentation, and the march as well. So thank you guys, everyone that was involved. Thank you to my sorority sisters, the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, for being there in full force. We had a beautiful day. The weather was gorgeous. So onward and upward. Today is the top 10 of the weekend. And actually, I really didn't get an opportunity to read too many questions because, again, I had a lot going on, not only on Saturday, but Sunday, and I'm exhausted today. But we're going to start with the first question everyone always asks. Why did you start a podcast? Okay, everyone has a voice, everyone has a vision, everyone has a mission. And that's what I'm saying now. Whether you're using your podcast to talk about racism in America, or you're in here to talk about recipes for families of three, whatever the case may be, you should think about creating a podcast, a way to leave your legacy using your voice. There is something that you can say, something that you can provide others that can be very, very helpful. And this platform is becoming even more popular now. So that's why it's a great time to start a podcast. If you looked at any of the episodes that I previously did, whether you're an author, a preacher, a teacher, an educator, a student, a family member, it doesn't matter. This is a great opportunity to broaden your brand and expand your exposure online. And if you are interested in learning more about starting a podcast, make sure that you hit me up on my email, info@ablakeenterprises.com. Send me that email so we can get you scheduled for the 30-minute complimentary discovery call, so we can talk about why do you want to start a podcast? What topic is it that is of interest to you? So I have a lot of people that have already taken advantage of that, as well as those that have taken advantage of the 90-minute and as well as the 60-minute mini coaching sessions to get you started. So that's available. If you're interested, just send me an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. Okay. Number 2 question. Do you use a script, or do you just wing it? Well, let me tell you something. It all depends on your topic. If you just want to come in because you have something to say, you're passionate about your topic, and you know about your topic, you can just wing it. It's not really necessary to have a script. Scripts are great when you're interviewing others so that they know what's going to be asked, or the flow of the show. Again, that is another episode, actually 2 episodes on the flow of the show and why you would want to have a script. Otherwise, just say, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about, and take a deep breath. Make sure you have something to drink. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit that live button or press that record button and go. You have to know what your content is. Some people just get on and talk about the weather. Some people get on and talk about the news. Some people just get on and talk about whatever's on their mind. So it's a personal preference. If you're not a talker, if you're not someone that's used to being up in front of others, even though it's your voice, you're still talking to many others, then you may want to write out a script and read it, and that's perfectly fine as well. But just don't read it. Don't read the script. Just put in some bullet points, hit on those bullet points, and expand on that topic. So yeah, you can use a script or you can just wing it. It all depends on what you're comfortable, how comfortable you are. Sometimes I have a full script, 4 pages, of documentation. Other times it's just poof, right off the top of my head, which is probably happening today because I am so tired. Well, number 3. How are you marketing your podcast? OMGZ. How are you promoting? How are you marketing it? How are you sharing it? Are you on communities? Are you in groups? Are you participating in sharing your links of your show on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram? Then you should be. Do you have a newsletter? Do you have a website? Again, I'm using Podpage and I'm loving it for my Anchor FM broadcast, which is every Saturday at 10 a.m. So again, how are you promoting it? Word of mouth? Are you even putting it on the bulletin board? Are you telling people you have a podcast? There are all different ways in which to promote yourself. If you want to throw some money into it, throw some money into the Facebook ads, the Instagram ads, the Twitter ads, whatever the case may be. Promote it on LinkedIn. Make sure you're using hashtags, podcast life, podcast, host, podcast guest. You've got to promote yourself. No one's just going to come and find you. You have to do it yourself. You've got to promote yourself. And if you're reading topics and you have questions or people are asking questions, again, Quora.com is a great place to go to find out what questions people are asking. And if you can answer them with your podcast, make sure you drop that link and let them know that you have a podcast that will answer their questions. Number 4, how long do you think an episode should be? Should it be less than an hour, less than 30 minutes, less than 15 minutes? Okay. They said that the sweet spot is, and this is how I learned, the sweet spot is 28 to 30 minutes because we don't have long attention spans. And that was an average commuting time. Now people are not commuting so much. They're working remotely. So they're not in the car, they're not on the trains and the planes and the automobiles. So you might want to look at having a longer podcast. But what's your topic about? Can you talk about fruit for an hour? Can you talk about fashion for an hour? What is it that you can talk about? Again, use the sweet spot, the 28 to 30 minutes as a standard. But my podcasts on the weekends are 15 minutes or less. I mean, I'm just going to give you what I need to give you about, podcasting, like I'm doing here. Same thing, 15 minutes maximum. That's all I'm going to give you because this is not a dramedy. This is not a comedy. This is not a series. It is a series, but it's not anything that I think warrants an hour. That's what happens when you get into the coaching sessions. That's what happens when you come to the seminars and to the workshops. So for me, 15 minutes, less than 30 minutes works perfectly well for me. Some people do less than 5 minutes. So do you, boo-boo. Number 5, what's an audiogram? Yeah, Wave and headliners. You probably hear about that. Those are where audio files are turned into video files so people can hear or see what the show is about. So it converts your voice into an audio so that when you're posting them on your social media platforms, it draws more interest. Sometimes you see the wavelengths moving. Like, remember that show, The Outer Limits, with the wave? That's what that is. And then the words. So that will capture the attention of people who would prefer to read as opposed to hear, or like to do both. So you can use Wave or Headliner. Those are both Audiogram apps that will turn your audio into video. Okay. And then you post that either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever the case may be to get more eyes and ears onto your podcast. So that's an Audiogram. And today's bug, of course, world's greatest mom. Yesterday when I was out there walking, I was thinking about my sons, how they are living their lives, how they're going to be affected by the future. So that's who I was walking for. And I don't know why I didn't turn off my sound this morning. So I apologize if you're hearing the bells and bings from my laptop. Hey, did you order your workbook yet? Podcasting Your Purpose from Amazon. It's available. Make sure you go to Amazon and my sons must have allergies today. Make sure you go and order your book, your workbook on Amazon, Podcasting Your Purpose. Remember, in this, you're going to get a lot of information. You're going to get 42 pages of information. What is a podcast? Why start a podcast? Power of podcasting, planning a podcast, podcasting like a pro, podcasting promotion pointers, podcasting for profit, monetizing and sponsorship, podcasting hosting platforms, as well as Anchor FM. The 2020 planner on the back, which helps you write out your episode date, episode numbers, your guests, your topics, your pre-record dates, your published dates, as well as your promotion. So again, head over to Amazon.com to order your copy of Podcasting Your Purpose workbook to get started, because you have a voice, you have a vision, and you want to share it with the world. So let's get back to the top 10 of the weekend. Number 6. Where do you get ideas for your show? Well, let me tell you something. It depends on your topic. It depends on your niche. What are you talking about? What is it that you're sharing? What is of interest to your listeners? Those topics are going to come whether you're finding them trending on Twitter, whether you're finding them on a talk show, on a radio, on a newspaper, magazine, or if it's just coming from your heart or your head, whatever. So you're going to be able to choose the topics that are relevant to your niche as well as to your audience. So think about what you want to share with your audience. And why not just ask them what it is that they want to hear from you. Is there something, let me ask you, Podcasting Your Purpose. I'm now into the second month. I'm not even sure how many days, how many weeks I've been doing this, but now we're into June, almost summertime. Are there topics in which you want me to talk about? Let me know. Just leave a comment below. Remember, thumbs up this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you'll be following me along. Okay. So ask your listeners, what is it that they want to know? Is there something that you can provide for them? Number 7, this is a great one. Why has podcasting become so popular? Let me tell you, it's right here. Smart money. Smart money is moving towards podcasting. There are mainstream media that are creating podcasting divisions because they know that this is what people want. It's easy to consume. So they're going to be backing podcasters. So this is a great niche for you, a great area for you to get into if you're looking for additional income. With the advances of AI, artificial intelligence, and Wi-Fi, it is very easy to pull down a podcast. Remember, this is pull media marketing, not push marketing. You're not pushing anything onto anyone. People are pulling down your content because they want to hear what you have to say. The demographics are changing. It used to be, just white men between ages of 25 or whatever who made this amount of money. Now everyone's listening to podcasts. Everyone is creating a podcast. It is now mainstream. Again, mainstream media has become niche media. Everyone knows what a podcast is. Everyone listens to podcasts. Everyone makes podcasts. You're watching my podcast, right? Blog Your Way to a Business Profit every Wednesday at 1:00 on Blog Talk Radio, as well as the Delaware Blogger Podcast on Anchor FM every Saturday at 10. It is growing. It is growing because it's inexpensive and easy to produce. It reaches a much wider audience. It's convenient. And now that we are home and we're social distancing, those of us that used to be out on the stage, we are now in a stage, from a mic. So this is a great way to still spread your message, educate, and train others. So that's another great reason why, podcasting is becoming so popular. And how do you start a podcast? Like I said, let's sit down. Let's talk about it. I can teach you to start your podcast. This book, this web book can teach you how to start a podcast. So if you're ready to start your podcast, let me know. Again, send me an email, info@ablakeenterprises.com, so that we can get you started. That 30-minute discovery call or that 60 or 90-minute mini session. Okay. This is a good one. What are some of the podcasting best practices? You know what? Let me save that for tomorrow. But let me just give you a few topics. You want to make sure your topic or your niche is what you want to talk about, or very popular, or just of interest to you. Your content is good, your consistency, your community, audio hosting, promotion. Let's talk about podcasting best practices tomorrow. So I'm going to pull that from today, and it's there, but we're going to really dive into that tomorrow. And I just want to let you know, for number 10, this really wasn't a question, but I had a question for someone about DJ and voiceovers and commercials, because she got a real jazzy one. So shout out to Demia. Thank you, Demia Avery, for sharing this information with me. But she gave me a website called Commercial Kings. And this website is where you can get some voiceovers, some DJs. She's got some real jazzy stuff going on. So it's Commercial Kings for if you want to jazz up your podcast by having some more. Let me pull this up. Commercial Kings for you. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Commercial Kings. Let's see. I spelled it wrong. I need coffee. Commercial King. You know what? Let me just go to her. Let me go right here. Demia gave me this information because she said she was jazzing up, and she said like $40 or something. They can add music, or you can add music. It's called commercialkings.com. And it says the best commercial product service online. It's what they do. Okay. So commercialkings.com is your number one source and producer of custom radio commercials, in addition to video commercial production services, providing our top-ranked creative design services to clients all over the world. Okay, so this is great for podcasts, for concerts, for videos, whatever the case may be, radio advertisements. So I'm going to check it out. So that was my question to Demia, because I was digging her commercials. I was like, what? I want to hear that. What's going on? How'd you get that done? So how tracks and stuff like that. So, and they do, they do stuff like that. But how you have those commercials that come in on the radio? That's what these are. On BET this Wednesday. So if you want to promote your podcast, this is great. A great way to brand your podcast, make it visual, make it crisp, just like radio. So that's what was my question to her. And also I wanted to let you know that I did find another free free music site, and that is music from Kevin MacLeod. So that's great. Let me turn this off here. Again, today is the top 10 of the weekend for June 8th, 2020. Again, if you have a mug that you want me to promote either here or on my blog, which is dellblogger.com, head over to my blog today because I'm going to be giving you, I think it's episode 8 of Blog Your Way to a Business Profit. So that's going to be on there today. So until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social, still at a distance, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger. And let me know what you want me to talk about on the top 10 of the weekend on Mondays if you have any questions. Bye bye.